Have you ever reached the end of your day feeling completely exhausted, but when you look back, you can't point to a single thing you truly finished? Have you ever felt busy, your mind buzzing with 100 different tasks, yet the feeling of real progress is nowhere to be found? If you have felt this quiet confusion, this sense of being stuck in motion, then this story is for you. In a small, windswept town, where the streets were paved with old cobblestones and the air smelled of salt from the nearby sea, there lived a young man named Leo. Everyone knew Leo as a man of great energy and endless ideas. His small workshop was a testament to his ambition, a chaotic collection of half-started projects. On one table, a half-carved wooden bird lay next to a set of leatherworking tools. In another corner, a half-woven basket sat beside a stack of books on gardening. His mind was a brilliant storm of possibilities, and he was always doing something, always moving, always starting anew. He was never lazy. His hands were rarely still, but his life was a museum of beautiful beginnings that never saw an end. Leo's days were a constant, dizzying dance of switching from one task to another. He would start his morning determined to finish carving the bird, his hands skillfully shaping the wood. But then, a notification would light up his phone, an interesting article about a new gardening technique. He'd put down the carving tools, telling himself it would only be for a minute. That minute would turn into an hour of research, leading him to grab a shovel and head to his small patch of earth outside. As he started to dig, he'd remember the basket he promised his neighbor. He would abandon the shovel in the soil, rush back inside, and begin weaving, only to be distracted again by a thought of a new design for a leather pouch. His mind, like a restless butterfly, flitted from one flower to the next, never staying long enough to gather any real nectar. He chased every new idea, every fleeting inspiration, believing that by doing a little of everything, he was being productive. The truth was, he was just becoming mentally exhausted. His progress, a scattered illusion. Every evening, Leo would sit in his cluttered workshop, the setting sun casting long shadows over his unfinished work. He would feel a deep, gnawing tiredness in his bones, a profound sense of dissatisfaction that settled in his chest like a heavy stone. He had worked hard all day, yet the bird was still wingless, the garden still unturned, and the basket remained a shapeless frame. This constant cycle of effort without completion began to chip away at his confidence. He started to doubt his own abilities, feeling stuck in a loop he couldn't escape, a prisoner of his own restless energy. The vibrant young man full of promise was slowly being replaced by a shadow of frustration, trapped by the very ambition that once fueled him. In the center of the town, in a quiet shop filled with the gentle ticking of 100 clocks, worked an old watchmaker named Mr. Silas. He was a man of few words, his presence as calm and steady as the pendulums that swung in perfect rhythm around him. While the world outside bustled with noise and distraction, Mr. Silas's shop was an oasis of deep focus. People would pass by and see him hunched over his workbench, a tiny magnifying glass pressed to his eye, his hands moving with a slow, deliberate grace as he pieced together the intricate gears of a timepiece. He worked quietly amid the chaos of life, a master of his own small, focused world. He represented a kind of peace that Leo secretly craved. One afternoon, Leo, feeling more lost than ever, found himself standing at the doorway of the watchmaker's shop. Mr. Silas looked up, his eyes clear and perceptive, and simply said, "A clock has many gears, young man, but to make it work, you must place one gear at a time." Those simple words echoed in Leo's mind long after he left the shop. He walked back to his own chaotic workshop and saw it for what it was, a collection of gears, all scattered and disconnected. He looked at the quiet, focused image of Mr. Silas, a man who built marvels of precision one tiny piece at a time, and then looked at his own frantic, scattered efforts. The contrast was stark and humbling. It wasn't a dramatic, life-shattering revelation, but a quiet, simple realization that settled over him like a gentle rain. That evening, he made a decision. He would not start anything new. He would not try to do everything. He would just finish one thing. He picked up the half-carved wooden bird and told himself, "Just this, until it's done." The next morning, Leo sat down at his workbench with only the bird and his carving tools. At first, his mind resisted. It was restless, fighting against the constraint of a single task. His fingers twitched with the urge to check his phone. His thoughts drifted to the garden, to the basket, to a dozen other unfinished projects. The urge to switch, to do something else, was almost overwhelming. It felt unnatural, like holding his breath. But each time his attention wandered, he remembered the watchmaker's calm hands. He gently pulled his focus back to the wood in his hands, back to the curve of the wing, back to the delicate shape of the beak. He wasn't forcing it, he was guiding it, returning his attention again and again, as if training a wild animal to be still. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, something began to shift. As hours passed, the restless urges began to quiet down. The noise in his mind faded, replaced by the soft, rhythmic sound of his knife shaving away a sliver of wood. For the first time in a long time, a task was completed. By midday, the wooden bird was finished, smooth and perfect in his palm. He held it up, and a feeling he hadn't experienced in years washed over him. A clean, calm, inner satisfaction. It was not the manic excitement of a new idea, but the deep, quiet pride of completion. The work felt different, cleaner. Time itself seemed to slow down, no longer a frantic race, but a steady, supportive rhythm. The stress that usually clung to him had been replaced by a profound sense of peace. This small success became the anchor for a new habit. The next day, he didn't try to tackle everything. He chose one task, the basket. He wove and wove, ignoring the pull of other ideas, until it was complete. Then, he moved to the garden and then to the leather pouch, one task at a time. It became his new routine, his guiding principle. He put his phone in another room while he worked. When a new idea struck him, he wrote it down in a notebook and returned to the task at hand. The mental noise that had plagued him for so long began to fade, replaced by a quiet, focused clarity. The quality of his work improved dramatically. The objects he created were no longer just half-formed ideas. They were finished pieces, each one bearing the mark of his full, undivided attention. Soon, people in the town began to notice the change. His workshop was no longer a chaotic mess, but an orderly space where beautiful, finished creations were displayed. His neighbor received her sturdy, perfectly woven basket. The children admired the collection of intricately carved wooden animals on his windowsill. Leo himself seemed different. The frantic energy was gone, replaced by a calm, quiet confidence that radiated from him. He walked with a steadier step and spoke with a more assured voice. He didn't need to explain his new method to anyone. The results spoke for themselves. He had become like the watchmaker, a craftsman who understood the silent power of placing one gear at a time. He had finally learned one of life's most essential truths. True progress is not born from frantic, scattered action, but from a single, focused effort. What you give your attention to is what grows in your life. If this story helped you find a little clarity, please give this video a like. And for more simple stories to guide your way, subscribe to the channel.